What up, Laker family? It's your boy DTLF back with another post-game recap. As you guys that were with me on playback already saw, and those of you tuning in just now, the Lakers fell to the Warriors, man, 128 to 110 on what was a very disappointing loss, especially coming off of winning 6 out of the last 7 games. But unfortunately, guys were missing, especially the biggest guy on the team, LeBron James. And these are the results. I mean, the Warriors are just a better team without us when we don't have LeBron James. That's just the facts, right? It took us 2 overtimes to beat them in Golden State with LeBron. I don't know why people expected us to just have a cakewalk without him, right? But regardless, I got to commend Anthony Davis. He fought extremely hard. 27 points, 4 blocks, 15 rebounds, and assists, a steal, right? Nobody else really showed up. Like I said, there was some empty stats there. D'Lo 18 and 11 didn't have a good shooting night. Torian Prince 12 didn't have a good shooting night. 16 for Austin Reeves and 4, no impact on those numbers. And Rui had probably one of the worst nights of the ball game. With only 8 point single digits, we need a lot more from Rui to step up. But gotta give them credit because they out hustled us in every way, shape, or form. I mean, they really came out. They got a total of 48 rebounds. They got 15 of those were offensive rebounds, and it's hard to win a game when you're given a 3 point shooting team like the Warriors second chance points and rebounds. They're going to kick it out wide open three, splash. It's crazy, right? So it's tough, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, we came out here, we battled hard for like about a quarter, and then after that, it was all downhill, right? So it's unfortunate, but it's just the way it goes. And no trolling tonight, only real basketball conversations, my good sir. But yeah, respect, Darius, respect, man. Congratulations on you guys' win. Here's what I hate about tonight's victory, though. I know that if we would have had LeBron James, it probably would have been a win. And I'm not just talking about the 20-point loss, and I'm not talking about obviously the fact that if we had LeBron, that would have made the whole difference. It's just that he's such a mismatch for the Warriors, right? So I wish he would have. Some people were saying they wish they would have. He would have played tonight and sat out the next game. But again, I'll be at the game tomorrow, so I don't wish that. However, yeah, it would have been nice if he would have played tonight. Knocking the rust off. Shoot too many threes. Thank you for super chat, bro. Yeah, we definitely shot way too many threes. I 110% agree with you there. Problem I had was that we got out coached again. And every time that the Warriors made a run, Coach Darvingham failed to call the timeout in a timely manner to nip it in the butt, right? And if you look at every single quarter, we lost every single quarter. First quarter, we lost 28 to 31. Second quarter, 28 to 36. Third quarter, 26 to 31. And then the final quarter, 28 to 30. So we lost this game. They basically handed it to us from the start. And they just kept stacking on that. Now, I want to bring up a topic of conversation that was brought up by some of you guys over on Playback TV. And that is, do we have to start having a conversation about the medical staff? Because we've been dealing with injuries ever since they let Judy Settle go. And again, our guy, Gary Vitti, the legendary Gary Vitti, retired. And it's like, man, it sucks because we've been hurt a lot in the span of the last 3 years after we won the bubble championship, right? After we won that title in 2020, it's been nothing but injuries plaguing us left and right, man. And you do have to start wondering what's going on with our medical staff. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to call for people's jobs. That's not my style. But I will say you do have to start wondering as a fan, at least, what is going on? Why are these guys always hurting? Why aren't they recovering on a timely manner? Like LeBron did have 9 days for the All-Star break to recover, and apparently he didn't, right? Unless, like I said, it was expected for him to miss one of the 2 games from the back-to-backs, and they just decided that was the one. But it is a conversation to be had because it sucks. Too many injuries. We lost Vando for an extended, and I know that injuries are a part of the game, but Vando, Gabe Vincent, Cam Reddish, Max Christie, who just came back from an injury. Now we're losing, Christian Wood in practice. You know what I'm saying? We're losing Christian Wood in practice. And it's like for 2 weeks, not just for like a couple of the games. It's like, what's going on? So again, this point wasn't brought up by me. It was brought up by some of you guys. So credit to you guys. My guy SJ over there on Playback, man. So and I just thought it was, just an interesting point of topic of conversation, right? My guy D Free, he said, wasn't Judy there for the Russell Westbrook season? Was she? Because I don't specifically remember all the details, but people did say that once Kobe retired, the Lakers let her go. But I'm not sure. I can't exactly pinpoint when we let her go, but I do, uh, I do see a lot of injuries since the 2020 season till now. So again, I don't want to blame it on anybody, but I'm saying it is an eyebrow raiser that we've been dealing with, like almost an exaggerated amount of injuries since we let Judy and Gary Vitti retired and all these great medical staff legends that were there with us for years and years and years upon years before LeBron even arrived. So, it is, like I said, it's an interesting topic to bring up. What do you guys think, chat? I would love to know if you guys think it's just freak accident after freak accident, just bad luck for the Lakers, or if it has something to do with that medical staff. Chris Johnson, thanks so much for super chat, brother. Said Ham, D'Lo, Reeves, Prince can't play together, dummy. Man, Darvin Ham, I'll tell you something, man. It's just what drives me crazy about him is his lack or his inability to make in-game adjustments. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes he'll make an adjustment here or there, and you'll be like, okay. But then, they'll call a timeout, and we just look discombobulated out of the timeout. And you have to wonder, what are we really preaching in that huddle? We got to hear some of his inside tracks, right? And the stuff he's saying is just, you know what I'm saying? So it's interesting to say the least. But yeah, man, Darvin Ham does frustrate a lot of fans. I agree with that, including myself. D Free, my guy, says, I think she came back, but the injuries are bad. For a couple of seasons, the Lakers led the league in different starting fives. Yeah, I know, man. And what do you think? I would love to get your opinion on this, brother. What do you think of this whole situation? You think we're just maybe overanalyzing this whole injury thing, or I know injuries are a part of the game and everybody catches them, but it just, man, feels like we can't catch a break the last couple of seasons. It's really disappointing, right? It's just when you think we're about to turn the corner, more injuries, more injuries. And so I think that's been public enemy number one for us Laker fans. Is just all the injuries and how unfortunate that's been. Tamika says, I'm questioning the medical staff as well. Well, I only bring up the topic because you guys did make a interesting point on Playback TV, and I'm like, I hadn't thought about that. But I'm like, you know what? Now that I look back on it, yeah, it's been injury after injury, and sometimes it's just inexplicable injuries. Like the one to my guy Christian Wood. It's like, damn, he got hurt during the break, So, and here it goes. So Darvin Ham giving us an update on LeBron James. Ham said Lakers will officially know in the morning. So we'll know tomorrow morning. And I pray to God he plays. I'm not trying to go. I mean, obviously, I'm still going to enjoy the game whether he plays or not. But, man, I'm trying to go to a victory. We know when LeBron plays, it's most likely a victory, especially versus an unexperienced team like the Spurs. Even though when Boyama, he put up a big stat line tonight. So it's going to be interesting. They're starting to get some experience, and ain't no team more dangerous than a team that has nothing to lose. Let's see. If we have a 3-point shooting contest with the Warriors, you're going to lose. We shot too many threes. That's also fair. Valid point. Lakers do sometimes get baited into a back and forth, but that's just most of the league nowadays, sadly, right? But looking at what the Lakers shot tonight from the beyond the arc, we shot 35 threes. We only made 10 of those. That's 28% from the field. Meanwhile, the Warriors, of course, shot 41, and they made damn near 40% of those, 16 of them. So, yeah, it sucks. But, again, there's plenty of room for improvement. I kind of figured, I told you guys this pregame, I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers come out here looking rusty. But, again, there is no excuses for that because the Warriors also took 9 days off of basketball. So there isn't any excuses there. We took our L, got to take it on the chin, move forward, flush it down, learn from it, get better. We play tomorrow, fam. Judy was let go when Kobe retired. I'll take your word for it. I can't exactly pinpoint. I don't exactly remember when she was let go, but it is unfortunate because they're legends, right? Judy Settle's a legend. Same thing with Gary Vitti. So you have to wonder why that happened, right? We know Gary retired, but man, I'd love to have them on board. The injuries the past few years to the stars ruined them. He said potential return in 2021 hampered the following couple seasons. But this year, it's the role players. Rui, Vando, Gabe, big money out. Truly unfortunate. Yeah, man. Yeah, and again, don't want to blame anybody. I'm not calling for nobody's job. It's just, it was something that was brought to my attention. And I do want to raise the question, what's going on with the medical staff? Is it something that have just been freak injuries, or is it something where we're underdeveloped in that department and maybe we need to invest a little bit more money into that, right? Um, should we try and sign Mike Hunt in the buyout? We don't have any roster slots open, but I'll be quite frank with you, fam. And it's not just because he was here on the chat, right? You guys knew I felt this way about him since before he came on the Q&A yesterday. He came to my Q&A yesterday. But Stanley Johnson, man, it's criminal that this man doesn't have a job in the NBA right now. He should have a team. Why? Exactly. He gave his best answer to why he should be on a team. He fits almost any system. He's a defensive player, doesn't need a lot of touches. He's tough-minded. And I thought when Vandal went out with injury, we were going to go and look to acquire somebody like Stanley. So I would love to bring him back before anybody. Other names that are out there, I do like the size. I think I think Jackson Hayes done a tremendous job, but it never hurts to have extra size out there. At times tonight, we look like the small team, especially when we went small ball. You can't blame us because guys are hurt, right? So there's nothing we can do there. I can't even be mad at Darvin for that because guys are just missing, right? The Darkness says, sad how this team has to rely on a 40-year-old to beat good teams. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. We built this team around LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So when one of the two goes missing, we're going to hurt, right? It's not sad that we have to rely on him. It's just he's just that good that we still rely on to him, right, this late. I will give the Lakers credit, though, because they had figured out ways to beat other teams without LeBron James. Unfortunately, tonight wasn't the case, right? And it's just a long season. It's going to happen. Did we go down on the standings, or are we still at 9? We should still be at 9. I believe we're at, let me double check that for you. But yeah, look, it doesn't help that we're losing and other teams that are below us are winning. Yeah, we're still at 9. We're at 30 and 26. The team below us is the Jazz. They're 26 and 31. So we have a nice cushion. We basically just trying to move up to 8 or 7, in my opinion. That way, if you do get into a play-in, you only have to win one of potentially 2 games, right? It would be ideal to move up to 6, but they continue to create a bigger cushion. They are now 10 games over 500. And with all the injuries we're having, again, the Jazz made a brilliant couple of moves in the trade deadline, and they got better, right? They got some bigs out there. They got some good size, some athletes. So it's going to be so hard to move up to the 6th slot. My goal, my realistic goal is, yes, still the play-in tournament, but at least 7th or 8th, right? Why? Because, like, again, you have the benefit. If you're in 9th, you have to win 2 games to advance. We don't want to play 2-game 7s, right? Anything can happen in that case. But at least if you're in 7th or 8th seed, all you need is 1 game. And if you win on the first one, great. If not, you'll have another chance. So hopefully we'll win on the first one. That's my goal. Unfortunately, injuries have not gave us a chance to really, truly compete. Not an excuse. When we were healthy, we were losing some games we could have won as well. But it's been an up and down roller coaster ride this season, and we have not been able to win 4 games in a row. Again, tonight we failed at the opportunity when it presented itself, and that's never a good thing, right? Ever, ever, ever. My guy Prince said we can't catch up with the teams ahead of us if we can't string together a winning streaks. Teams above us keep winning as well. Yeah, I think Dallas is about to be out of reach. They're at officially 10 games over 500. And again, they continue to gel extremely well. They beat the Suns tonight. Again, the PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford acquisitions, I thought they were exactly what they needed. Some size, versatility, athleticism to add to Luka, Kyrie, and some of the pieces they already had there. So that's a dangerous team for sure. Watch out. Nobody's going to want to match up with them in the first round. Just like us. Nobody wants to match up. So those are dangerous teams. D Free says, yeah, Lakers didn't bring just back after the Melo Russell Westbrook season, which was mirrored by injuries. He said, just checked. Anyways, it's not on any one person at all. Like you said, yeah, it's unfortunate. It's definitely a topic of conversation to raise, but it just sometimes injuries plague you at the worst times. You guys remember after we won the championship in 2020, we were looking to run it back. And what happens? Injuries caught up to AD in the first round of the playoffs. We were up 2-1 on that series, and I'm absolutely certain that we would have won that round. But coulda, shoulda, woulda doesn't count. We lose. AD goes out. We lose every game after that. So, that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. We got to roll with the punches. We still got a lot of time, though. And let's see if we can string together another run here, starting with tomorrow versus the San Antonio Spurs. I still got you guys with a pregame. Even though I will be at the game, I still got you guys with a pregame and hopefully a postgame. But I'm expecting victory tomorrow for sure. Free Mind says the Mavs aren't losing either. 7-game win streak and just beat the Suns. Yeah, got to give them credit, man. They made the trades they had to do to get better, and it's hard to get better in the West, but they did just that. So you got to give credit where credit is due to their front office. They did an exceptional job at filling in empty slots that they needed around Luka and Kyrie, and it's going to be interesting to see the West this year in the playoffs is going to be nuts. I don't think there's a clear-cut favorite to come out of the West. Do you guys have a clear-cut favorite? I picked the Timberwolves as the favorites to come out of the West, and some people might think I'm crazy about it, but I think they've put in their work where they might actually be a real threat in the West. And dark horse, I picked the Lakers. Always, as long as we get in a series, as long as we get into the playoffs, we have a chance, right? So we're the dark horse in the West, in my opinion. Some people pick the Nuggets on around the league. Some people pick the Suns. I think it's the Timberwolves, man. They're one of the most dangerous teams out here. They got a young phenom, obviously, and the role players are stepping up big time, and they're starting to gel, right? People made fun of the Rudy Gobert trade, myself included, but give them credit, man, because they're starting to gel with their front court and their role players, and if they're healthy, they're going to be a force, right? They're going to be a force in the West. Then you got Dallas. Dallas is looking really dangerous now, not just because they're on a 7-game win streak, but again, because of the trade they made. Out East, it's a coin flip. You see what the Knicks are doing without Julius Randle. The Bogdanovich trade has definitely helped them out. And even though they had lost 3 before tonight, they get back on the winning side, and they're continuing to gel, man. So they're dangerous. They're my dark horse out East. And the favorites are still Boston, in my opinion. As much as I hate to say it, it hurts me. Got to be truth teller, man. Boston is still the favorites to come out of the East, especially with the Doc Rivers acquisition by the Milwaukee Bucks. I hate it. I hate Doc Rivers on the Bucks, because that was one of the teams I liked in the East, especially with the acquisition of Dame. I said if they can figure it out, they could be dangerous. But having Doc Rivers there, Mr. AK, blame everybody. I think JJ Redick was phenomenal in calling them out. Yeah, I think he's actually going to weigh them down instead of help them out. So I think they were better off with the rookie coach, believe it or not. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I just hope somebody can knock off the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. Knicks, hopefully, right? They've matched up well versus them this year. There've been some competitive games. And in the West, I hope that the Lakers can make it. So that is, what I'm hoping for. But we'll see. Again, it's going to be an insane playoffs. I got you guys covered through all the playoffs. Man, I'm going to try to get as many games in there as possible, especially now with Playback TV. So make sure you guys do follow over there, man. Shout out to my guy, Search, for always shooting the links out, man. Let's see here. Timberwolves are destined to prevent Boston from a championship if need be. If that's the matchup we're going to get this year in the playoffs, then I am definitely rooting for the Timberwolves. I'll say that much. But remember, Boston has all the experience, fam. Remember that. Experience is king 9 times out of 10 in the playoffs. There's some surprises at times, but it's tough to, trump experience. Prince says, but still, I would rather face either the Timberwolves, OKC, or the Flippers in the first round rather than the Nuggets or Mavs. I say bring on whoever, because if it's our year, we're going to have to sharpen up our toolkit. The West is not going to be easy no matter who we face off. So I say bring on anybody. As long as we make it there, I like our chances, right? And of course, we got to be healthy. That is a huge part of it. But can we – a lot of question marks around the Lakers. Can we get healthy enough in time to gel? Because the chemistry is everything, right? You see Spencer Dinwiddie, he looks good in spurts. He looks bad sometimes. He still has to find, carve out his role. And that's going to look a lot different once guys get healthier, right? So we still not in where we're supposed to be. Everybody's kind of out of place right now, just trying to survive and stay afloat till guys get back and healthy. And that's usually how it goes during injury. So a lot of different working pieces and parts. And then Darvin has to figure out what his rotation is going to look like when guys get healthy as well. Who's going to be the odd man out? He's going to have to shorten his rotation in the playoffs as well, assuming we get there. So a lot of different working variables and factors that are going to somehow impact the Lakers one way or another, right? My guy D Free says, I think the West will be a gauntlet no matter what seed you get. That wasn't really the case last year in hindsight. No Celtics or Clips chip, and I'm sleeping pretty. Yeah, I'm right there with you, bro. Now, the Clips, I don't see them as contenders overall for the championship, but I do see them as contenders in the West this year because they also have everything they need to compete. And surprisingly, James Harden has molded really well to that team, which I didn't think was going to happen. But him and Westbrook are on their absolute best behaviors. If that changes up, then I'll start the laughing party again. But for now, they're actually a threat to eliminate a couple teams in the West. So hopefully, I'm praying to God they get eliminated early in the playoffs and their ego doesn't grow and their confidence doesn't grow, because then they become dangerous. And then Denver, of course, Denver is going to be a problem. We haven't beat them in the last 7 games, dating back to the playoffs. So they're always going to be a problem as long as that happens. But hopefully we get it, hopefully we figure them out. That's the biggest thing I'm hoping for. If we can figure them out, I'm still very worried about having another big there to go up against Jokic. Just overall, man. Benaya says, I'm picking the Nuggets. If they get knocked out, I'm taking the T-Wolves. I love their roster. Yeah, me too. I love the T-Wolves. Nuggets, they're good. They're really good. But I think they're a one-hit wonder. Call me a hater, but I really do believe they were a one-hit wonder. Again, you guys know I was high on the Nuggets for the last couple of seasons. I felt like they were a legit threat, and rightfully so. As you can see, they became champions. But I do think a lot of things lined up for them last year, and that's why they won the championship. Will Jokic get the same BS calls? I mean, he knows how to manipulate the refs really well. He's super skilled. Don't take nothing away from him, but boy, does he know how to manipulate those refs. Will he get the same calls in the playoffs this year? Hard to tell, but that's going to really depend on whether he gets far or not. Dan, what's your thoughts on Jalen Hood-Schifino? People on X clowning the Lakers for taking him over other prospects. Listen, Twitter isn't a real place. I love Twitter because I've met a lot of family there. It's given me golden opportunities to improve the channel and everything. And I love all my actual Laker fans. But it's also filled with player and troll fans. And it's like you can't take their takes serious, right? These are the same people that were making fun of Max Christie his rookie season. These are the same people that were making fun of Taylor Horton-Tucker. These are the same people that not too long ago were trashing D'Lo and Austin Reeves, clamoring that they were garbage, right? And a lot of them are player fans. They get love pointing the fingers at everybody else except their favorite player, right? Whether they're Russell Westbrook stands or AD fans or LeBron fans, it's always the same bullshit. And honestly, it's something I've come accustomed to now, because I feel like we're going to, with the social media era, you're going to have to deal with it for the rest of our lives. Gone are the days when you could just talk basketball without these viruses, these freaking Gen Zers coming in with their 3-point shooting IQ and just mucking up the place, right? So we can't have those conversations without having those. But thankfully, we still have some elder statesmen here that are going to smack them around a little bit and hit them with some facts. You know what I'm saying? Half of these people can't read. So, you know what I'm saying? You got to be able to explain things to them. Prince says, virtually we are in a better spot at this time than last year. The difference is that last season teams were catching up, started falling off after All-Star break, but now they are winning. Yeah, again, there were more buyers than sellers in this trade deadline, Prince. This is why exactly the Lakers didn't make a trade. And as a result, the teams that actually got to buy and got better. Not a lot of teams got better, but the Mavericks did. Teams that are ahead of us, some teams did. So, that's the hard part. And that's why the West has always been a battlefield. It always has, right? And but I look forward to it. Look, if you're going to survive, you have to be able to navigate through the landscape without stepping on a mine, if you catch my drift, right? If we're going to survive the Western Conference, we got to be able to navigate through this rocky times without blowing up and just ending things, right? Because the season could end like this if the Lakers just go on a slump, right? So we can't afford it. We have our backs against the wall. We're in play-in territory. Anytime you're not in the top 8 seed in the West, even in the top 8 seeds, but obviously the 7th and 8th, you're still fringe team, but you have the advantage of just having to win one extra game to make it, right? So, but it just sucks to be in this position as a Laker fan. I really like our roster coming into the season. Coaching has been mid, injuries have been horrible, and some of the chemistry has been lacking. But when we do gel, we see glimpses. We saw it during the in-season tournament when we won the championship. We went undefeated the whole tournament. We saw it then. We saw that when the Lakers can ramp up, if they're healthy, they can be a force, right? And after that, it's been up and down. But hopefully we're on the uptick again, right? Hopefully. Some of the West teams like OKC Mini are inexperienced. I think the Nuggets are the Celtics most likely champions. He said, I'd bet Denver, to be honest. I just, you know what? My gut rarely fails me, bro. Easily Denver could be the team you're talking about, but I see them as a one-hit wonder. I really do. They lost Bruce Brown. I think that was a huge loss. They still got Aaron Gordon, KCP. They still got key pieces, but I just don't believe in them like that this year. I think other teams get eliminated. I think if they went up against the Timberwolves, yeah, and Jokic doesn't get all the little handicap calls they give him, I think between Rudy Gobert and all those bigs they have over there, Nas Reed and those guys, they're gonna definitely give him some hard times if they match up. And I think Anthony Edwards has grown enough where he's gonna be the deciding factor in that series. I really do. I believe he's gonna kick it into hyperdrive, and I'd love to see that matchup in the first or second round. I'd love to see it, right? So I think they're the biggest kryptonite to Denver personally. Phoenix, I never take them serious because they don't play defense consistently. I actually take Dallas more serious after their trade. You see how they're looking, right? So again, but it's going to be a coin flip on a lot of these series, and I can't wait to watch them, bro. I can't wait to break them down. I mean, even though obviously I'm rooting for the Lakers primarily, it's just going to be fun to watch good competitive basketball throughout the playoffs. That's what we're hoping for. Bunch of 7-game series and a bunch of teams having to go the extra mile to win. So that's what we're going to hope for, and I look forward to it again, man. It's always fun breaking down basketball, especially now that we got playback TV. It's going to be taken to the next level. We have to stand by the coach we hired because when he just had the winning streak, I didn't hear none of this. Another of nights we have to bring more energy. No, we still standing by the coach, but we will be calling him out when he's falling flat on his face. That's just Lakers Nation all day, every day, twice on a Sunday, right? So ain't nothing personal, but when coach is like shit, coach like shit. And when coach does a good job, I've also given him credit on here. So that's going to continue, fam. There's no room for sensitivity. There's plenty of that on Twitter. We'll take all that sensitivity stuff over there. The only thing I like about Twitter is that you can get updates real time, specifically during free agency and trade deadline. But there are a bunch of knee-jerk reactors and trolls there. Yeah, man. At some point, we just have to filter them out, like the trolls that they are, right? It's like when a virus hits your phone or computer or anything, you just put on the virus protector and just eliminate them. So you kind of just I think the best remedy for these trolls would be to not give them any attention, and they'll eventually learn that they gotta come with some basketball IQ if they want to see it at the table. That's the way you get rid of them, to be honest, because the more we pay attention to them, the more you give them life. They grow like parasites, right? That's just the way they operate. But I agree, man. Twitter's an awesome place. I've met so much Laker family there, made some great bonds, relationships. That's how we got my guy D-Free on Around the League. Obviously, that's how I met Empire Jeff, got him here, and the rest was history. Obviously, Mees and everybody. So it's a great, resourceful tool, man, when used properly, right? And then again, there is the cesspool section of any app, but especially Twitter. So I agree, man. My guy said, Dan, you underestimating Jokic, unguardable? I know he's really great. I don't think he's unguardable. I think he's unguardable because the NBA has put a veil over him to protect him. They give him little ticky-tack fouls. If it wasn't for those, he'd be getting clamped up. Let's keep it $150. If he was allowed to be played defense on and to really bang with him down low, he would be getting clamped up. However, they treat him like they treat Luka, like they treat James Harden, like they treat Paul George, like they treat certain superstars. Steph Curry, you can't even breathe heavy on them because they're getting fouls, right? So I'm not impressed. I mean, his skill set is impressive, but I'm not impressed because they give him so many calls, right? So the high respect and regard you guys have for him is not the same high regard I have for him, right? I really lost a lot of respect seeing how he operated and all the calls he got on his way to the championship trophy. Even Miami couldn't, like Bam Adebayo couldn't really play defense on him, right? AD was eliminated by the officials because if he got a block, it's a foul. If he did it, then it's a bucket, right? So he knew how to manipulate the game really well, and I give him credit for that, right? There's been a lot of people that have been over the course of time have learned how to manipulate the officiating, but it's more so the fault is on the officials because they get taken, right? If it isn't that they're gambling on these websites and stuff, but they're really getting taken for fools if they're allowing these players to just manipulate them like that. But we see it, we the players see it, and it's horrible. I mean, it's horrible. But for the game, it's not good for the game. Even Steve Kerr has cried about this poor officiating and the fact that defense isn't allowed to be played at a high rate anymore. But it was ironic that he was crying about it because he's one of the main reasons the NBA is like this, him and Steph Curry, right? So, but it is what it is, man. We just got to navigate around it at this point. D-Free says the real reason they won last season was Murray. His advanced numbers were off the charts. That was an all-time playoff for sure. I get your point. It won't be easy. I look forward to it. Like, I hate the Nuggets only because of Malone's trash talking, and again, I don't like flopping style superstars. Like, I'm not a huge fan, but give them credit, they won. They figured out a way to win, and now they're still the defending champion. So until somebody knocks them off, I get why a lot of you guys give them the respect. Me personally, I think if we're allowed to actually defend a team like that, then it'll be a different ball game. But of course, if he gets the ticky-tack fouls, then he's going to march his way potentially to another finals. But we'll see. The West is stacked. It's going to be fun. I don't think, the Thunder, they still don't have the playoff experience that even the Timberwolves acquired last season. So I expect them to be an early first or second round exit. Timberwolves, I think, is the most dangerous young team in the NBA because I think they've been in the playoffs a couple of times. They've lost early in rounds, but this is when they start. Usually you got to pay your dues to start moving up in the postseason, and I think they've paid their dues the last couple of seasons. And they also have veterans like Mike Conley who have been there, guys like Rudy Gobert who have been in the trenches, who are going to be, I think, a problem, for the oppositions. But we'll see. Can't wait. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for tapping in. It's time to pick up this pizza. You guys know what it is. Appreciate all the super chats, all the likes, and all the comments. And keep it locked. I still got you guys pregame and postgame tomorrow. Won't be on playback, obviously, because I will be at the game. But follow me over there because you never know. I might just pop up over there and just display the actual game. Who knows? We'll see. But appreciate you guys. Much love. And I'll see you guys here tomorrow. All right? Enjoy the rest of your night.